Hello, everyone, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. Yes, I am indeed WendyY Bailey, and I'm excited to bring some amazing content to you once again. Today's topic is, let me find it. Today's topic, I think, is a kind of cool topic, and my society actually voted on it. It's how to spot and enroll quality coaching clients. If you're not enrolling quality coaching clients, let me tell you that you should be considering and thinking about how you do more of that, because having quality coaching clients really creates sustainable success for you. So before I jump into the actual content, let me make a couple of announcements. Usually I kind of make them at the end, so I want to do them at the beginning so you don't miss anything. The first one I want to announce is please be sure wherever you're watching me, I'm live streaming on Facebook, on my page, on my profile, in two of my private groups. I'm also broadcasting live on LinkedIn. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type hashtag replay to let me know you were here. If you're catching the replay on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get access to more episodes when they go live. So if you're watching me on Facebook, go ahead and grant StreamYard permission because that's how I'm broadcasting. I love to see you and check out your comments and see what your thoughts are about this content that I'm sharing with you. The next announcement I wanted to make is all about where you can go and connect with me. You can connect with me at the Profitable Coaching Society. That's in one of my private Facebook groups. And it's a growing community of coaching professionals who are there to share expertise. They're there to support one another. And of course, I share content in the group as well. So go to profitablecoachingsociety.com and become a member of the society. It's free to you. It's complimentary. It's something that I think will really support you. The next thing I want to tell you about is the Profitable Coaching Club. Profitable Coaching Conversations is a whole brand. It's a flagship brand within my business, Business Beyond Limits. And so I've created lots of ways to connect and support the people who are part of the tribe of Business Beyond Limits and Profitable Coaching Conversations specifically. Be sure to join the Profitable Coaching Club on Clubhouse at profitablecoachingclub.com. And I'll see you there. I usually go live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, but I also do some individual rooms, some other rooms that are more impromptu. And when you get to the club and you join the club, you'll get notified when I schedule something for the club. It's all about helping you to grow your coaching business. Okay. So it's a great opportunity for you to learn and grow and get to know me and how I can serve and support you as well. The last thing I want to say about the Profitable Coaching Club, Profitable Coaching Conversations, this episode and all of the guest episodes that we've released in the past a little over a year and 6 weeks that we've had the web TV show and audio podcast. There are, I think this is episode 90 today. So go ahead and go there and watch all the episodes. They're full of really amazing guests. They're filled with lots of good content. My society has selected the topics as we've gone along. So be sure that you check out all the episodes at profitablecoachingconversations.com. And then I want to tell you about some events and opportunities you have to learn with me. First of all, you can join my academy at morecoachingclients.com. It's content valued at more than $30,000. You also get a live video training once a month. You also have access to me via the monthly coaching office hours. So you get a slice of time. It's recorded and put into your client folder. So you always have our work together as a professional reference in your library. Morecoachingclients.com is where I recommend that you go to sign up. And then I'm also hosting a pricing masterclass. It's all about how to set fees for your coaching program, services, products, and packages. Okay. Most people are undercharging, they're undervaluing what they're putting into the marketplace. And if you feel even the remotest like you're not charging enough, then you want to be in my masterclass. I'll tell you more about it. Book a 15-minute session with me. It's a chat. Chat with WendyY.com is where you go to book that. Chat with WendyY.com. I'm going to tell you more about the pricing masterclass. It's called Predictable Coaching Income. And I'll tell you more about it, and we'll see if you're in the right place and space to actually benefit from being a member of that masterclass today. The other thing I want to say about that is you may not know you're in that space or place, but let me tell you that if you are working really, really hard and not feeling like you're gaining traction in the profitability arena, it's a good class. It's a good master class for you to be part of. I call it a master class because I believe that you roll up your sleeves and you work on things in a master class. It's not a webinar. I'm not putting you all on mute. It's only for, I think, 15 coaches. 15 coaches. So there are limited spots, and it's coming up in October. So go ahead and book your 15-minute session with me. It's a chat, so we can make sure that it's the right opportunity for you right now. Chat with WendyY.com. The last thing I'm going to tell you about, did I tell you about all of that? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I also want to tell you about, I'm here every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern live to talk about a topic. And Tuesdays are the guest episodes that are pre-recorded, and they're released on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. So next Tuesday, we have Jody Krangle, who's a very well-known voice artist, and she is going to be my guest. And we talked about how to use your voice to brand your business. It was a really great conversation. I think you're going to enjoy it. And then the next bonus episode, which is next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're going to talk about what you need to know now to sell coaching. Coaching is a whole different kind of service, and it has some nuances to it. But when you understand the nuances, you can actually sell more of your coaching services, programs, and products. So now let's get into our topic. Our topic again is how to spot and enroll quality coaching clients. And when I thought about this, I wanted to make sure I said a little about what quality is. A quality coaching client is someone who you're very clear on who they are. I'll talk more about that in just a second. A quality coaching client doesn't haggle with you over your fees. A quality coaching client shows up to do the work. A quality coaching client really respects you and your expertise. A quality coaching client understands you're not there to fix her. You're there to guide her and challenge her and champion her to become who she desires to be. Maybe her goals are very, very uncertain and unclear, and you help her gain that clarity. Maybe she lacks the confidence to take steps that will help her to grow. A quality coaching client shows up and says, I know that there's something missing, and I'm really ready, willing, and able to dig deep to address the challenges I'm feeling right now in my life, in my business, in my health, in my wellness. That's a quality coaching client. And you're not dealing with a quality coaching client when they are disrespectful of you or your time. They're disrespectful of their own goals, so they don't actually commit. They're not wholly or fully responsible to their goals. Yeah, you don't want a less than quality client. So let me get into a little bit of the content by talking about, the less than ideal client. Is that the right one? Yeah. Your less than ideal clients are something you need to spot. I've heard over the years lots of horror stories, and I'll just share a couple here. I had someone on a call that I did some years ago, and she wasn't a client, but she was concerned. She was an event planner. And based on being an event planner, that meant she would go in, plan whatever the event was, work through all of the details, organize the communication with the vendors, and, just really lay the event out. Right. And I know I'm scratching the surface for those of you who are event planners who are watching. I know there's a whole lot more to event planning. But at some point, what she encountered was family members. I want to say she was doing a wedding, and her family members were cherry picking the parts out of her project to do more cheaply. Okay, so as she started, she was, signed on to really do the event, and then the family members for of the wedding party actually started saying, "Oh, we can do this and we can do that," and before she knew it, she was ousted as the event planner. Quality clients respect what you do, respect your expertise. They don't haggle in any way, shape, form, or fashion with your price. That includes cherry picking the parts that they want to keep in with the assumption that it's going to lower your price. Okay. A less than ideal client is something you truly want to spot. The first type of less than ideal client I like to talk about are the tire kickers. The tire kickers are folks that are always, checking everyone out in the marketplace. They're, sampling this, they're downloading that for free, and they rarely move forward to enroll in your coaching program, services, and products. They rarely hire you to coach them because they're not committed to themselves, which means they're not going to be committed to you and hiring you as their coach. Okay. So when you think about the tire kickers, pay attention to the folks who are always following you, but they never spend a dime with you. Never, ever spend a dime with you. Okay. Your job, your goal is to spot the tire kickers, challenge them to be part of what you are creating, to invest in themselves by hiring you, even if it means committing to a no cost event where they get to see more of you and experience more of your expertise. If they're not willing to do that, you want to be concerned about them because they are truly tire kickers. The reason I want you to know about the tire kickers is so that your radar is on, and when a tire kicker is in your presence and you challenge them and they don't respond, they want to continue tire kicking, you don't want to continue wasting your time trying to court them or support them or give them more, right? You've got to set a boundary with tire kickers because they will get everything for free and they will drain you. The next type of non ideal clients are lurkers. Lurkers are people that are always in the background. They're in the background supporting you. They're in the background, seeing what you do. They're watching you in the marketplace. And a lot of times, lurkers will be there just to see what you're doing, just to understand how you did it, so that they can somehow duplicate your results, your success, or they can imitate you. Lurkers are people that you may not really ever hear from, right? But when you are working with lurkers, when they're in your rooms, when they're on your webinars, when they're in your training, they're not even really participating. They're sort of sitting back and watching and listening and learning and trying to gather what they can from you without really engaging with you. And they're not necessarily harmless. Let me say that. Sometimes lurkers become ideal clients when they hear other people talk about your expertise. I've had that happen several times. Lurkers can be on your mailing list. They open your emails, but they never respond. Okay. Recently, I had someone who became part of the academy who was on my mailing list and has been on my mailing list for years. And somebody said, "You need to work with WendyY." And all of a sudden, she's a client. So lurkers, again, are not necessarily harmless, but as long as they are lurking, they are less than ideal clients for you. The third type of less than ideal client for you is, where are you? A wannabe. A wannabe. A wannabe is someone who really sees your success, sees the results that you create for others, and they want to be like that. They want to have that same kind of success. Hey, Robert Kennedy III. Yeah, lurkers can be scary because they're not engaging. You don't know what to do with them because they're not going to engage. They're not going to say anything. It can be scary. But the wannabes are not necessarily harmful, but you want to pay attention to the wannabes because occasionally, because they're so interested in you and what you offer, they may borrow some of your content to use as their own. When you have a wannabe, you can spot them very readily. Let me tell you about a wannabe in my life. I'm known for four words. I charge for that, right? I'm the I charge for that lady. I'm the I charge for that queen. People say all the time, WendyY is the I charge for that person, right? And it's because I believe that when you're putting something of value into the marketplace, it also means that you deserve compensation for that. You need to be valued for what you're sharing in the marketplace. And that means your compensation should match the kind of value you're giving. Most of us give and give and give. We pour and pour and pour. We have high value expertise. And the reality is, what we're sharing is priceless, right? I charge for that is the spirit of the words that says, you know what? I may not be able to get the priceless amount, but I want to be handsomely rewarded for the gift of expertise and input and impact and influence that I'm creating for you in your business, in your workplace, in your life, right? I'm the I charge for that lady. I did a live conference at the end of 2017, and I decided after the conference there were some people who were part of my community, and I was like, okay, well, I haven't ever been to one of her webinars. Let me check her out. So I went to this person's webinar, and she used I charge for that as one of the principles in her process that she was describing. And she saw that I was there, so she kept saying, oh, Wendy, these are WendyY's words, and she always said it. And I knew very clearly that had I not been there, she would not have given me credit for those four words. That's a wannabe. That's oh, I've seen the impact of these words. I know they're powerful for you, so I'm going to use them. I'm going to borrow them so that, people can have that same level of impact from me saying it as well. Wannabes are not necessarily dangerous until they borrow like whole concepts from you, right? When they start borrowing whole concepts from you and whole strategies and whole everything from you, it's time for you to sort of check them. That's why there are trademarks, so that you can avoid the wannabes borrowing your content. There's also intellectual property and patents and all kinds of things you can create to secure that. When you trademark something, it prevents people from using it. Thomas Leonard, who's known as the father of modern day coaching, actually trademarked the word teleclass. And for years, while he was still alive, for years, there were people who were using the term teleclass, even though he owned the trademark for it, right? So pay attention to the less than ideal clients, the tire kickers, the lurkers, and the wannabes. So let me tell you about the clients who are your ideal clients, okay? Because now that I've talked to you about the less than ideal, let's talk a little bit about the ideal clients. The reason you want to pay attention to who your most ideal client is so they can spot you and you can spot them, right? So your ideal client really, really represents someone who's a male or female. Declare a gender so you know that. I say this all the time. It's because it's that important. Make sure you know their age, no more than 10 years. If they're 25 or 60, you're going to speak to them differently because of their age. This is content I share all the time. You also need to know their income, their salary, their revenue. But the thing that you want to be really focused on is spot your ideal client by the way he or she looks and sounds. When you're in a live networking organization, I know, COVID has kind of pushed us back from doing a lot of live networking, but I see more and more live events popping up. Okay. But even when you see them in a room, virtual room, you can spot your ideal client by who she is, by how she looks, by how she sounds. One of the exercises that I like to take my coaching clients through around ideal client is a visualization where they get to really put some focus and some color and some details around who their ideal client is, starting from a silhouette. If you think of a silhouette, it has no color, it's all black, right? But when you start to bring color to it, then you can see how your ideal client is dressed. You can see how your ideal client looks in terms of how she shows up. in whatever space she's in. You can also kind of hear what your ideal client sounds like. And when you think of what your ideal client sounds like, pay attention to the sound bites that are coming from your most ideal client. Another exercise I take my clients through is kind of looking at your client through a world filled with glass walls. And when you look into the glass walls, you can see how the client is behaving, what the client is saying, that lets you know what her core problem is and what kind of solution you can create for her. When you spot your ideal client, you see how she looks, you know how she sounds. Pay attention to those the visuals that you get. Pay attention to the sound bites that come from your ideal client, because what happens is the more you are aware of that, the greater the opportunity is for you to create a solution that really, really resonates with your most ideal client. The other thing I want to say is you can spot your ideal client by where he or she hangs out online and in person. Your ideal client goes to certain types of events. Your ideal client reads certain things online, certain blog posts, certain types of events, certain people that she's connected to, certain groups that she's a part of. All of that becomes important so that you can be in those spaces and places, those groups, those online events, everything that your ideal client is connected to, so that you can meet her there. You can attract her to you. I meet people all the times when I'm in programs where I'm learning, because I show up and I just know it's me. I show up as a leader in most of the communities I'm a part of. I'm not the leader, but I am a leader in the community. And my ideal clients really seek me out because I'm a leader in those communities. And they want me to support them. They want to buddy with me. They want to partner with me in some way. That's client attraction. When you're in the spaces and places where your most ideal clients are likely to be, where she's reading, if she's reading certain blogs, maybe you can do a guest blog post. All of those things truly do add up for you, spotting where your ideal client hangs out online or in person. I have a policy about in-person events. I haven't been to one since COVID started, but I would give the event, if it was a regularly scheduled event, I would give it 2 opportunities to produce my ideal client, not for somebody to hire me, but for me to spot the quality ideal client that I like. After 2 times paying for it and being at that event, I scratch it and I move on. Some people stay for long, long, long periods of time, but that's my policy. 2 times. If I don't see my ideal client, if I don't see any indication that I'm going to connect with my ideal client there, and I'm not really getting any value from the event myself, other than a feel good kind of thing, that doesn't guide me. Make sure that when you look at online events and in-person events, that you're going to be surrounded by like-minded people, that you're going to be surrounded by folks that when you are in the room, so to speak, they're interested in you just as much as you're interested in them. And then the last thing I'll say is spot your ideal client by what he or she reads, does, and plays. I kind of hit on that a little bit, but make sure that if your ideal client is a reader, that you have something for your ideal client to read, right? On your website, make offer opportunities for your ideal clients to download, to watch, to listen, to experience you. Because when they come and they sign up and they download whatever it is you're offering, what you're going to find is the more interesting your reading, your video, your audio is to them, they're going to want to engage more. I have made sales calls to people who were on my list based on how many times they opened and read an email, right? Or if every time I send something, they open the email. And in the process of doing that, I've heard things like, oh, I'm surprised you're actually calling me. That's the first thing that's different for them than most other coaches. The second thing I've heard is, wow, I actually put you on my vision board that I'm going to work with you. And that lets me know that they were engaged in my content, even if they didn't reply to my email, right? I'm good with that because that lets me know that what I'm sharing in terms of what they're reading, what they're watching, what they're listening from me has landed for them as an ideal client, right? It has landed well for them. So think about your ideal client and think about quality clients and how you attract them. It means that you can really, really engage with them when you're really keen to who they are. You know where they work, where they play, how much money they make, what they look like, they sound like. And then you get to actually challenge them to enroll in your program, services, and products. And what I've written here is something I want you to really pay attention to. Enroll your ideal clients by inviting her or him to work with you. Lots of invitations. I think too many times, and I see this a lot with my clients, and I want to challenge you to invite more people to more things that you're offering. The more offers, the more invitations you extend to your most ideal clients, the more likely they are, she is, he is, to enroll with you. If you never extend an invitation, you can't expect your ideal client to even know there's an opportunity to work with you. Okay. The last thing I want to say about your ideal client is your ideal client is always, 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 always ready, willing, and able to invest in themselves by hiring you. Yeah, always. So if you're talking to people who are not willing, ready, or able to invest in you, no matter what your fees are, you're talking to less than ideal clients. There may be a lower price point you can offer to them, extend an invitation to something else. But if you're consistently hearing no's, look at how you're presenting the invitation and look at the fact that you don't offer enough. It's usually one of those two things: how you're presenting the invitation or making the offer, and how often you're extending an invitation. The last thing about rejection, I'll say, is understanding that sometimes because you charge a lower fee, your ideal clients are like, I'm not going to hire you because your fee is too low. It can be too high for some and too low for others. But the too low is something that speaks to how you're showing up in the whole equation, right? So that's what I had. Again, if you're watching the replay, type hashtag replay. Let me know that you watched it. If you're gaining value from this, please tell me your takeaway and what you are walking away from this bonus episode with. I'll be here next Thursday in the 2 p.m. Eastern hour to share another bit of content for you. It's called What You Need to Sell Coaching. That's the topic for next week. So I look forward to serving you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.